Members of the media, joining us to hear about the October 1st student strike, the Empty School campaign that will be taking place later this week. And we have 5 speakers here. I'll let each one of them introduce themselves as we go along, but they're all members. They all represent different partners of the Canadian Families Alliance organization. The Canadian Families Alliance is a network, a loosely affiliated network of parental rights groups, cultural and ethnic groups, and religious and other types of groups as well that all oppose the radical sex ed curriculum of the Kathleen Wynne Liberals for various reasons. This network, there's over 25 groups in the network of the Canadian Families Alliance, representing over 200,000 families, and it's a growing movement as well. The numbers are not shrinking; they are. Okay. So it is a growing movement. More and more parents are getting educated, and we'll reveal more details. But just to, with regards to the October 1st student strike that will be happening, numbers are not. We don't have availability of numbers yet. As you all know, there was about 35,000 in the Toronto area alone in May at the last student strike, parent and student strike that was held. Probably 40,000 across Ontario. And hopefully it'll be a larger strike than that. We have been getting reports already from a variety of school boards across the province. The Algonquin and Lakeshore Catholic School Board, the Waterloo Catholic School Board, the York Catholic School Board, parents in the Durham Catholic School Board, the Peel Catholic School Board, the Durham District School Board, parents from the Peel District School Board, so and more. And there's right across the province, and hopefully there will be parents striking in every single school board, both Catholic and public. And make no mistake, this curriculum is radical in both school boards, both the Catholic and the public, and goes against the majority of parental wishes. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the first representative from the Canadian Families Alliance member groups, and that is Khalid Mahmoud from representing the Thorncliffe Parents Association.
Khalid, can you spell your name for me?
Yeah, my name is Khalid Mahmoud, and the spell is Khalid. The last name is Mahmoud, Mahmood. I'm representing the Thorncliffe Parents Association, and I'm also the member of Canadian Families Alliance. We are thankful to all the media representatives for honoring our request for today's press conference. We are fortunate to be living in such a beautiful country of many loving and diverse communities where more than 200 languages are spoken, all communities living peacefully together in harmony. People of different color, race, religion, and lifestyles, everyone in Canada is respected and protected under Charter of Rights and Freedom. Today, we are in the 4th week of our School in the Garden, where parents and children are protesting to protect their rights. Our children are standing in the rain and under the sun to sacrifice for thousands of children across Ontario, and to tell the Ministry of Education that they need more efforts, more struggle on improving academics and declining standard of education. Our children could have stayed home for homeschooling, but they choose to stand up and raise their voice against organized bullying. Whenever we voiced our concerns about our rights, we have been shunned and labeled as a political motivated and homophobes if we are imposing our beliefs and belief on others. We vow that we are not imposing our beliefs and values on anyone, but we want to save our children from bad teachings that are not based on any medical and psychological research. We are not against any community, especially like LGBTQ, and we emphasize again and again and again that we stand with them for any discrimination and bullying against LGBTQ community. They have full right under the Canadian laws. We are uniting all Ontarians as a parent to stand against any bully with anyone. We are the most tolerant citizens of Canada. We know how to respect difference and diverse communities. We don't bully anyone. Now do we teach our children for such things. We do not teach hate, but respect for all. The purpose of our struggle is to give Canada a better youth for a healthy and responsible society. Being constituents of a Thorncliffe neighborhood and representing largest school in North America, we have never been consulted while introducing such controversial curriculum. Our children are directly affected by these changes. So how come a handful, handpicked, about 1,600 people can vote for such curriculum on behalf of us? We categorically reject this curriculum. Premier continuously refuses our demands to reconcile with the respect and parents because she cannot convince them in a real, because she has no base and support medically, scientifically, and morally to justify such dangerous curriculum. Their claim of consultation with 4,000 school chairs was also false and misrepresentation, as hardly 1,600 parents were filled the survey without knowing the actual content of the curriculum. Premier has misrepresented and hide the information from Ontarians. Majority of Ontarians do not support the curriculum as shown in various polls that represent 75% people are against the curriculum. We urge the ministry to take all the controversial curriculum back and stop teaching anything which comes under indoctrination and promotion of a certain lifestyle. We reject any teaching to our children which bring moral corruption and diseases. We, as a Canadian Families Alliance members, completely refuse this ingenious opt-out option which does not permit us to withdraw our kids from lessons on alternative sexual lifestyle. And for example, the anti-scientific teaching that being a boy, a girl is merely a social construct and the gender is fluid like water. Purpose of calling strike on October 1st is to show that we are united in saving our children and we are colorblind towards colors, race, and genders. On October 1st, thousands of parents will be pulling their kids out school to show their dissatisfaction with Premier's bad curriculum, which is an open invitation for early pregnancies, spreading STIs, including HIVs. Such teachings will cause depression and mental disorders in our children, which can lead to suicide attempts. Any such efforts should be treated under Criminal Act. October 1st is a very important and it will be a very different day in our history, when a record number of students will remain absent. This will be an answer to ministries who claim that all school-going children are in favor of sex ed curriculum will be vanished, and our struggle is not ending here. We will be trying to reach out to more number of schools and parents where we could not reach out today due to our limited resources. We have been confirmed that thousands of children will remain absent from different school boards like Toronto District School Board, Peel District School Board, Hamilton, York, and even Catholic school boards. There are many thousand parents who are pulling their children. Once again, we thank you very much and we hope that you will continue reporting the events impartially, even though we have not agreed a few areas. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Lou Iacobelli.
Good morning, everyone. For the record, my name is Lou Iacobelli, L-O-U, I-A-C-O-B-E-L-L-I. As chair of the Parental Rights and Education Defense Fund, we continue to fight a court battle against the Hamilton Wentworth School Board as a father, Steve Terlucas, tries to get his parental rights to withdraw his children from curriculum that contradicts his family values and beliefs. Over 3 years later, the case is still unresolved. The Terlucas family is fighting and suffering for all of us. The school board and the government can use our tax money to fight against our parental rights. But we must use our own time and money to stand up against a government that refuses to represent us and truly address our concerns. This is why we are here in full support of the Thorncliffe community. Parents and children across this province have been forced to make sacrifices because of a government that just has shut down any opposition to the sex ed curriculum. And we are here today to say we are all Thorncliffe Park. We are all Steve Turlucas. The Wynne government has given parents no other choice but to continue to protest. It's the Wynne government, not the parents, that have created this provincial and divisive mess. So on October the 1st, we urge all parents to keep their children home, to tell the government that we continue to say no to their radical sex ed curriculum. Let's not be afraid to stand up for parental rights, to be the first educators of our children. Let's empty the schools. We who pay the taxes should have choices that reflect our values. Here's an idea for real change and real choice without the escalator. Refund all protesting parents the education cost, which is well over $10,000 for each child from our taxes, and let parents choose the best education for their children. This is democracy. This is real freedom. In 2010, when the controversial sex curriculum was first introduced, our former Premier Dalton McGuinty had at least enough good sense to withdraw it in just a few days. In February of 2015, Premier Kathleen Wynne's Liberal government reintroduced the same-sex education curriculum, and I put education in quotation marks, please, that sexualizes young children, undermines parental authority, rejects cultural and religious values, and imposes a politically correct approach to morality, in quotation marks, on every Ontario family. Ontario parents were reassured that they would have the option to withdraw their children from any part of the curriculum they didn't support. The Minister of Education, Liz Sandals, said the same thing. However, we recently, both the Premier and the Minister have done a complete about-face on the issue. They now say that they have left the decision to the school boards. The Toronto District School Board and the Peel Board have already announced that parents can no longer opt out. Wynne and Sandals have misled Ontario parents. They have lied to us. They should resign. On June the 1st, 2015, a petition asking the sex curriculum be withdrawn was presented in the Legislative Assembly on behalf of the Canadian Families Alliance with 185,000 signatures. The government, as they have done with many province-wide protests, has paid no attention to this, even though they have only consulted 1,600 selected parents when the curriculum was approved. 185,000 versus 1,600? Can the Wynne government, pushing political correctness, not do the math? In addition, according to experts like Dr. Marion Grossman, the sex curriculum is not based on science and solid research. Parents are also aware that a convicted child predator had a hand in writing the sex curriculum. This is why we say we are all Thorncliffe Park. We are all Steve Turlucas. We continue to say no to the sex curriculum. Wynne has lied to the parents of Ontario. After many scandals, which I won't list, including this education scandal and paying for ads to convince parents of a curriculum that they don't want, using our taxpayers' money, Ontarians no longer have any confidence and trust in Wynne's leadership and her government. The Premier should resign. On October the 1st, parents, please keep your children home and say no to the sex curriculum, but say yes to Wynne's resignation and a government that represents the people not themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou. Our next speaker will be Sam Soteropoulos, the director of My Child, My Choice, the very popular Facebook group that has a lot of followers and has been also very, very active in this fight for parental rights and against the sexualization of children.
Thank you, Jack. My name is Sam Soteropoulos. Sam is spelled S-A-M, and Soteropoulos is spelled S-O-T-I-R-O-P-O-U-L-O-S. We squeeze the cord. Is that better? How's that? We're here today to express our solidarity with Thorncliffe Park Parents Association, the Thorncliffe Parents Association. They are the vanguard in our efforts to express our province-wide parental dissatisfaction and disagreement with the radical sex education, I hesitate to call it curriculum, I would prefer to call it propaganda, that is now being disseminated in the publicly funded schools that we contribute to and we pay for. If there was ever a case of taxation without representation, this issue surely brings this to light in this province of Ontario. It shames me that we are, at this point in time, it shames me that we are being lied to by our government officials on this specific matter, not to mention other matters, which are part and parcel when you have a government as, I guess, steeped in falsehoods as we currently have in Ontario. It's not surprising, but it is shameful that they have lied to us repeatedly on this issue, whether it be parents opting out, whether it be the consultation process, which was a complete mockery and has now been exposed as such, despite the repeated attempts at pushing the notion that some form of parental consultation was engaged in. We now know, as a matter of fact, although it hasn't been clearly expressed to the public, that the consultation was in fact a fraud and a mockery. And then there's the notion that, experts were also consulted in this curriculum. We don't know who those experts were, except for one, who happens to be a sexual abuser of children and a counselor of the sexual abuse of children, and is now in prison, I might add, rightfully so, serving the term of his conviction for crimes against children. We know who that expert was. The former Deputy Minister of Education and architect of this curriculum, Ben Levin. Now, the notion that this curriculum somehow represents a scientific approach to preparing children for the real world flies in the face of everything that is actually in this curriculum, because there is no science in the curriculum. Nothing. There are generalized mentions of STIs, but no statistics are presented. Nothing of any substance is presented. And then there's the far-fetched notion of gender fluidity, which is an issue that many, many people across this province find problematic for the simple reason that it flies in the face of the reality, the physical reality, that each of us is confronted with on a daily basis. So there are many reasons for our discontent and dissatisfaction with this curriculum. And we will continue to ensure that this government and all subsequent governments understand that this province has changed, is changing, and will continue to change. And we will be at the forefront of the change to come. Rest assured, we are not going away. Our numbers are swelling. More and more parents, as they realize what is in fact being proposed in terms of a compulsory indoctrination of their children, is unacceptable for many more reasons than simply religious. As I mentioned, and has been mentioned, science is not a factor, because if it were a factor in this curriculum, it would actually be part of the curriculum, but it is not. So we just want to make sure that as many parents as possible get this message and pull their children on October 1st to show solidarity with the Thorncliffe Parents Association, because they are, as I mentioned earlier, the vanguard of this expression of our discontent and disagreement. And finally, I just want to say, and I want to thank everyone who's come out here today. I just want to say that as a society, we've never had more experts, and yet we've never had more problems. Something is inherently wrong with that formula, and we need to examine what it is and how we can change it. And I will tell you that the people here at the front of this room and the people who are gathered in the various organizations that folks here represent or speak on behalf of are at the forefront of bringing about a new shift. A shift back to the family, not a shift away from the family, and not a shift for a selection against the family by introducing a synthetic family known as the state. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, and I hope that we will have a fair representation in the media.
Thank you, Sam. And just want to point out, in Louis Iacobelli, the director of the Parental Rights and Education Defense Fund's presentation, he mentioned the case, he mentioned the fraud of the so-called opt-out that Minister Liz Scandals and Premier Wynne have been promising parents.